All right, welcome to Help Desk with Joe. We have with us today Joe and Justin and myself. And this is show number 45. And as always, Joe, A&M Digital Technologies bringing information, news, and updates, product reviews, and all the good stuff dealing with technology to the local consumer and businesses, and a small business doing good stuff here in our community. So show 45, just because it's a number 45 seems like it's a milestone that we've hit. And even here in these times of COVID, we've managed to have our shows, and we're back doing another remote one. So, gentlemen, welcome.
Morning, Dave. Glad to be here.
Yeah. And Justin, you're in as a regular now. We used to call you a guest there for a while, but now it's the regular deal. So,
yeah.
To adjust
one of us.
Yeah. You're welcome. You just got lumped in with myself and Joe, and I'm not sure that's a good thing.
Moderator maybe could be called sometimes, or the guy that's keeping us on track, but I'm still working on that skill set.
That's
I was going to say, I always refer to Justin as the adult in the situation.
Yeah. Well, show 45, you got a good lineup for us today, Joe, and let's start off talking about our news update number 1, and that's the new Samsung Galaxy phone. Tell us what's new.
Yeah, I read this last night, Dave, and I knew you in particular would be excited because you're a die-hard Samsung user.
Yep.
So Samsung is releasing their new model of Galaxy phone starting January 29th. This will include the S21 Ultra model with 5 cameras.
5 cameras? What in the world does somebody need 5 cameras for, Joe?
Dave, I have no idea, but if I can pull it up, I didn't think this till literally just now. Yeah, I might try that. But it is goofy as all get out.
Really? So do you think this is a good thing or just a prank? Not a prank, but maybe something that's just not needed.
Well, in my opinion, it's not needed, but I can go over the specs here. I'll wait for that to load. So they're currently now available for pre-order. The regular S21 starts at $799. The 21 Plus starts at $999. And the S21 Ultra, which gains the S Pen support, starts at $1,199. Of course, the S Pen sold separately. At that price, I'm sure they couldn't afford to throw the S Pen in with it.
I'm seeing one that has like 3 cameras as well.
Yeah, that's the just the S21.
Man, 5 cameras. That just seems ridiculous to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I use my phone as a camera, but
yeah.
Wow, really?
And 12 megapixel. I mean, like DLRs back in the day, weren't they something like that? Or maybe I just don't know my camera stuff very well. But
no, yeah, they go
like
up to 25 megapixel if they're really serious, but then they drop back down just because it wasn't worth having huge raw files. So, you know, kind of backpedaled on that. So,
yeah. So let me go over the specs. Let me put this back.
This is crazy.
Okay.
So there's an Ultra version too, right? Did you mention that one?
Yeah, that's $1,199.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's weird to think that. How many cameras does the new iPhones? I know that it started with a phone came out and had 3 cameras, or had 2 cameras. That was a big deal.
I think 2 on the newer iPhones. 2 cameras on those.
Although
maybe a small little one too.
I'm looking at my phone now. It looks like it might have 3 cameras. Which, I mean, I don't know. Let's see if you can see it there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Mine's a couple of years old now, but I didn't realize it had 3 cameras.
There, can you guys see that?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yes. There's the 5 cameras.
Wow. That is pretty crazy.
I assume what's under the hood is pretty impressive spec-wise. They're trying to make a pretty powerful phone.
Yeah. So under the hood. The pre-orders, like I said, can be ordered on Samsung.com, but that was Verizon's website that I pulled up, and looks like you can pre-order there as well. The S21 and the 21 Plus come with 8 gigs of RAM with a minimum of 128 gigs of storage, upgradable to 256 with the use of a micro SD card. The S21 Ultra comes with 128 gig of internal storage and 12 gigs of RAM, which is upgradable to 256 and 512 gigs of storage, and it comes with 16 gigs of RAM.
Wow. How impressive is that, Joe? I'm not a technology guy, and I'm not really a big phone guy. I just get, when time comes to upgrade, I upgrade to whatever is there. How impressive is that? What's your take?
That's pretty impressive for the price point. I'm impressed with the specs of the speed for the RAM and the storage size.
How's it stack up to other new phones coming out?
It ranks right up there. The Galaxy series with Samsung always tries to be neck and neck with the Apple iPhones. So I mean,
Yeah.
They're right there with them. So this isn't a cheap, bargain basement deal on a smartphone. This is the top of the line as far as Samsung. It's their flagship model.
Yeah. You feel like it's going to is this a phone that's going to make a wave with the 5 cameras? Like, is that going to be something that people are just going to clamor all over themselves to go get? Or is it just going to be the standard?
That's what I'm anxious to see how this turns out. I think initially you're just going to get a lot of wow factor until people actually start seeing the results of it, and then that'll be the big determining factor of whether it takes off or not. So not all the models had the 5 cameras. The S21 and the 21 Plus has 4 cameras, 3 on the rear, 1 on the front, and then the 21 Ultra actually has the 5, the 4 on the rear, including the dual telephoto lens, and 1 on the front.
Huh.
So what really surprised me was the S21 and the S21 Plus has a 64 megapixel telephoto cameras and a 12 megapixel wide angle cameras. The Ultra's new dual lens system pairing with an optical 3x, optical and 10x lenses is capable of 100 space zoom and separate 108 megapixel wide angle. All 3 have the 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lenses, but just a 64 megapixel and 108 megapixel, that just blew me away.
Why? Because I don't know. I don't know how important that is. That makes sense. I mean, I know the more megapixels, the better the picture and all that. But I mean, phones right now are so good. People are using them as their regular cameras and then, printing really good pictures off of them. So how much better could it possibly get that it makes a difference?
Right. That's where I'm coming at. That's what surprises me so much is I remember back to the days of, just a few years ago where 12 to 16 megapixel was big news. And I'm going back farther when a mom and dad's first digital camera was a 5 megapixel. And that was, that was big stuff then. So hearing 100, 64 and 108 megapixel, that's just mind boggling. As when you thought 15 was kind of like the top notch as far as megapixels go.
Yeah, not for 90% of pictures, it wouldn't matter in terms of printed out, but maybe if you wanted to make a poster, I guess the bigger your printout, the more and more you blow it up, the more that stuff like that would matter for having a clear printout.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. You can buy a 5 megapixel, like the little square handhelds that you'd stick in your pocket for $80. That gets you 5 megapixels now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just going to look here. So the Canon EOS M50, which is a digital
DSLR.
Yep. It showed me what the pixels were. I mean, it's a $650 price tag, and it's a 24 megapixel.
See, there you go.
Yeah. So really, it's kind of crazy. Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. I just saw as I was scrolling through that Samsung plans on eventually removing charger and earbuds from their phones. Yeah. And if you could do that right, it might be good just to keep stuff out of your phone, not have any holes in it for stuff to get it, dirt and stuff to get into.
I think they're talking about the actual charging cable, the charging brick, the USB to electric outlet. Because Apple just did that with their latest model of iPhones. They've taken the charging port out of they left the USB cable, but the electric outlet to USB adapter, they took those out of the boxes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they're just not going to give them to you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I'm sure
weird.
for a nominal fee they will, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, in reality, how many people use those anymore? I mean, I have one here because of just access to an outlet, but really, you plug them into your laptop anymore. Your car comes with a USB adapter to charge. I don't know. I mean, it's going by the wayside slowly but surely, so it makes sense. It's going to save them a little bit of money, but how many people use those now?
I was actually surprised to see that they was actually trying to do that. I mean, I can understand part of the reasoning was, which they didn't say, was probably a lot had to do with COVID and part availability and all that over in China, trying to get it to come with it, as we saw last year. Well, however, everything was almost impossible to get. I get it, but I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, because you're going to run into a certain situation where you're going to have like a first-time smartphone buyer that doesn't have that type of power brick, and it reminds me of the days of
first time smartphone buyer. No, we're beyond that. I don't know anybody first time phone buyer. Everybody, I mean, 4-year-old kids have phones now, and everybody has hand-me-downs. So we got more. I mean, I have 2 kids here, and we got more power cords everywhere than 3 people should really have. We got enough for like 7. There's one in the bedroom, one in the living room, one in the kitchen. I don't know. I see what you're saying, but devil's advocate there. It's hard. I mean, I would say you could probably walk down the street and find a plug-in for your phone just sitting around somewhere in the street. They're everywhere. I mean, hotels don't even use them anymore. Now they have the USB plug-ins in the lamps.
Right. Well, my thoughts are, the printer companies got in trouble for doing something similar to this years ago. They would sell you the printer, but then for an extra $10, you could get the USB cable. So my thoughts are, okay, how long is it going to take for them to find some kind of lawyer that is savvy enough to make a case on this?
Maybe, but I'm saying no. I'm saying nobody will even notice. It's so universal. That's the thing. It's universal now. When's the last time you guys? So have either of you bought a wall adapter?
The USB?
Last 3 months, 6 months, a year?
Granted,
our phones came with them, I guess, but you still have them, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost, but I just bought some cables recently, but not a wall thing. I have wall things around.
Yeah, I could see buying new cables.
Yeah.
But oh well. Anyway, so Joe, what kind of hits this phone going to have? Do you think it's something that's groundbreaking, that's going to make a real difference in the cell phone business, or is it just another rollout?
Well, at this point, the cameras are the big hoopla, what everybody's going to be talking about. The price points kind of shocked me, especially with COVID still wreaking havoc and not everybody's back to work yet and all that. So the price points kind of shocked me, but those prices are actually $200 cheaper than the S20 models released in March.
Really? So they got a little cheaper. You think that's due to COVID and just people having less money, trying to match the economy?
Samsung made a statement and said that played part of it. It was COVID plus trying to be competitive with the latest model of iPhone, trying to be in the same neck-to-neck race as far as price point and all that goes.
Yeah, that's it. We talked about iPhone coming down into the middle rung with their latest phone. So yeah, cell phone wars. By golly, that's okay. I mean, the consumer will be the benefit winner of that deal.
Yeah, that's what's nice is when these kind of situations come up, most of the time we as the consumers are the winners out of it. So
yeah. So are you switching to Samsung, Justin? You switching to Samsung now? Get 5 cameras?
Yeah, as soon as this thing breaks, it keeps on going though. So I'm gonna wait till this phone bites the dust.
Well,
I'm anxious to see how people are going to react with the cameras, because I know when Apple released their new phone with all the cameras, somebody literally made a case that had Arnold Schwarzenegger on the back, and I don't remember which movie it was, and it was one that he was holding a big bazooka, and the cameras was actually the bazooka part,
Ah, nice.
and it just fit perfect.
Yeah. So Justin, is that you're switching to Samsung after your iPhone goes bad? Is that what you're saying? You're going to jump to Team Samsung?
I'd be up for it. I mean, I'm not totally wedded to iPhone.
I see.
You guys are always singing the praises of Android, so maybe.
Well, Justin, you know that according to Apple, that's blasphemy, right? That you're talking about possibly leaving.
Yeah, this whole episode might get yanked for that.
Yeah,
comment right there.
Yeah, they're gonna pull you from iCloud.
Oh boy.
It'll definitely be, if I did switch, it'd be a bit of an adjustment. Probably a little bit of frustration, like once you get so used to the way a certain thing works. But
I think it would be easier for you. You'd be like, oh, that is better. Wow. I don't know why I had to fight this uphill battle for so long.
So neither of you guys have ever had an iPhone?
No, I did. I actually did.
Yeah.
I had an iPhone 4 for a couple years.
Uh-huh.
Loved it. Can't say anything bad about it. But when I went back to get a new phone at the time, it was between, I think it was the iPhone 6 and the Nexus 5. And I literally, what sold me at the time was the Nexus 5 had more bells and whistles. And one of the bells and whistles that sold me on was wireless charging, and fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And once I got used to Android and figured out at the time that I was able to do way more than on iPhone, I was like, yep, it's a done deal. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
And I've never gone back to an iPhone.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I've never had an iPhone, so I've always been, I've had the Palms for a while, but otherwise Samsung.
Yep.
Boy, that's going back a little bit.
Yeah. Way back. I like the Palms though. I like the little keyboards. And I remember thinking the first time I saw the keypad that was didn't have the little buttons, the physical buttons, it was just the screen and you tapped. I was like, how in the world would somebody learn? How do you know which letters you're typing? So mysterious. But like anything else, you adapt and go on.
Did you ever do the T9 texting?
I did not.
Have to hit three times.
Oh yeah. Back in the day, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah. Back in the old flip phone.
You could get to where you could do it without looking at it because your thumb gets used to clicking on it like that. Yeah.
I was never that good.
Yeah, the phone Cena and I had before we both got iPhones was an LG, and it was about the size of a candy bar, and it actually slid up and had the whole little full keyboard underneath. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. The little slider deals are awesome.
Yes. And honestly, I wouldn't be objected to, these newer smartphones having that capability. I mean, that'd just be a little extra bell and whistle that, they could probably make a few extra bucks. I mean, if you think about it, we're buying cases for iPads that have keyboards built in. So why not do one for like an iPhone or a Samsung?
Yeah, it's different when you got to type documents and stuff.
True.
Yeah. Either way. All right. So Samsung going to make a splash. All right. Do you think this will be popular, Joe? What do you think?
You're definitely going to hit your Samsung diehard fans. They're going to be the ones standing in line to getting it. Now, how they react to it, that's what I'm anxious to see is how they react to it.
Get some actual product reviews.
Yeah.
Well, next time I see Justin, he's out the farm. We'll break his phone for him and he can go get a new one tried out. Now be an automatic product review.
Now, Justin, you heard that since that could be considered a company purchase, so then you wouldn't have to worry about the bill that way.
A&M Digital Technologies covers a lot of good things. Let me just tell you.
No. A&M didn't break. It didn't break on A&M time or property. So
I don't know. It's for the show, so it kind of falls under that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You've seen our budget, Dave, for the show.
Cena's got some tight reins on our budget. We got to loosen those reins up a little bit, buy some stuff.
Well, if I win the Mega Millions tonight or the Powerball tomorrow night, we won't have to worry about a budget. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I
Yeah,
don't
we may
even. Okay.
we may have to do the show in person in like Florida or Hawaii. You guys pick, but we'll actually have a budget at that point.
Nice. Well, let's move on to news update number 2. You got a little news for Google and Fitbit.
Yes, so Google has completed its $2.1 billion acquisition of Fitbit. So it's kind of good news, possibly bad news situation in this whole acquisition. So yesterday, Google completed its acquisition of that, which comes after 14 months of Google working with Fitbit to seal the deal to buy Fitbit out. So here's where the issue lies. Google, and it's no secret that Google makes its money on collecting and selling data.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are up in arms saying, hey, now are you buying Fitbit so you can track and monitor and sell all of our fitness data? So
Well,
Google's saying,
I feel 2 ways about that. I don't know why that's a concern. You carry your phone everywhere you go anyway. People are so worried about, and I've heard all kinds of stuff, Bill Gates getting the vaccine, getting a chip implanted by the same people that carry their phone everywhere that spies on them regardless. So I don't understand what the big deal is if your Fitbit says how many steps you've done or what your heart rate is. I mean, you're giving up so much information by packing around your phone and having conversations and taking pictures. I don't get it. But go ahead. Sorry.
So Google, everybody knows Google makes its money on selling ads based on information it collects from its users and whereabouts. Privacy watchdogs feared it might exploit Fitbit to peer even deeper into people's lives. But Google wound up entering a series of commitments in Europe and other parts of the world, pledging it won't use the health and fitness data from Fitbit's 29 million users to sell more ads. It insists that it is more interested in adding Fitbit to its expanding arsenal of internet-connected products, which currently includes smartphones, laptops, speakers, cameras, and thermostats.
Yeah, this kind of seems like the Wise, and this is the time to bring up Wise in the show, as usual. Wise has and you actually have it, right? You have the Wise watch, I guess.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. I have the Wise band. I don't have the new
Wise band. There we go. That's what I meant. But so Wise does security cameras, door locks, thermostats, vacuums, and the fitness band. So everybody's in the game.
Yeah. So everybody's still kind of a little leery on the whole situation because Google is, of course, it's not set to go before, I think it's the Supreme Court till 2023, but they're in the middle of an antitrust potential lawsuit anyway. So this just adds to the pile of people going, don't know if this is a good thing or not.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's a hard deal, especially with all the data that gets transferred around. But I don't know. It is what it is, so to say, which is kind of a cop out, but it's kind of crazy. Do you see this as being a big deal in your tech? You're more in the technology world than I am. So is this a big deal for you?
I'm anxious to see what Google does with it. Hopefully they can put the Google polish on it and take a great product and make it even better.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that coin, I can see the privacy issue as far as I pull into a fast food restaurant and my Fitbit goes off and goes, you shouldn't be here.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, it puts a bummer when I'm trying to eat a big bag of McDonald's fries, I'll put it that way.
I'm with you, but the way America's health is right now, maybe not a bad thing.
Yeah,
little Google chaperone, little personal trainer for you.
Yeah, and then that's when you start seeing the streets lined with Fitbits for people just roll the window down before they get in the parking lot and just chuck it out the window.
That might be good for sales though,
Yeah.
Look how many Fitbit replacements we've had. That's what somebody's saying. They're like, we like this plan. Anyway. All right. Well, Google buying Fitbit. Justin, do you use Fitbit at all? Have you ever used any of those?
No, I never have.
I know you're an avid runner and hiker and so forth. So
yeah, I kind of want to get a watch just because I'd like to keep my yearly mileage, and I have an app, but I don't feel like putting my phone on my person every time I run. So it'd be kind of nice to have a watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check out the Wise fitness band. It's like
Okay.
20 or 30 bucks. Now, my only issue, I had a Fitbit before, absolutely loved it. And what I loved about it was it would do a comparison chart between what I ate versus my activity rate. So I was actually able to put in what I ate during the day, and it would track the calories on that, and then versus what I would walk or exercise or whatever. So then that actually helped me personally on saying, okay, yeah, I ate more than what I burned, so I actually need to get up and do something. So you lose that feature with the Wise, but the Wise still tracks your footsteps and all of that. So it's a little trade-off, but for a starter, can't go wrong with the Wise. But if you want the full-blown package, by all means, definitely go with Fitbit.
Okay.
Man, Wise should be sponsoring our show. That's all I'm saying.
I know I need to get onto them on that and see if that's even possible. Because I mean, as much free advertising as we give them,
Oh, as much as we talk about them, yeah, I agree.
Then
they don't have to send us money. Now, if they want to send us a list
They don't
of
have to, but they're more than welcome.
yeah, and now they don't have, if they just want to send us product and Wise, I'm telling you right now, that's not very many products that you'll have to send us.
Yeah.
Because we already, I mean, myself personally, I own almost all your products anyway. Now, Dave and Justin, on the other hand, their list is going to be a little longer, but you want to I'll send us a robot vacuum to review. We'd be more than happy to oblige an honest review on it.
Yeah, there you go. That's our plug for Wise this show, which I think they get one about every show, so you know how that works.
did you look into the beta testing, Joe?
I did. There's with the beta testing, most of it is involved in the software, not so much the hardware. So
Okay.
I'm a little anxious. Part of me is going, yeah. Let's beta test. I want to be the beta test on the software, but then on the other side, I'm like, the reason I love Wise products is because it works and the stability of it. I don't know if I want to open up Pandora's box and be the guinea pig.
Yeah. All right. Well, Google Fitbit. We'll see where Justin goes as he wants to track his runs, and we'll keep that in mind in a future show. See what happens with Justin and what kind of digital tracking device he's willing to jump onto. Yeah. Okay. All right. Update number 3. Joe, you got some news about Ring, and I understand they're in hot water again.
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 So Ring's Neighbors app has exposed users' home addresses, locations due to a security flaw.
Hold on. What is that? Neighbors app?
Yeah, their Neighbors app. So what it is if you have a Ring video doorbell, what you can do is you can link it with what they call the Ring Neighbors app. So if anybody else in your neighborhood, has a Ring video doorbell as well, you can set that up as almost a virtual neighborhood watch.
Really?
So then if something's going on at your house, you could send an alert through the Neighbors app, and then Justin and I would get that alert to say, hey, there's somebody lurking in my backyard, or hey, be on the lookout for this, that, or the other.
Okay. So kind of, I see what you're saying. Kind of link it up so that if some suspicious activity happens, your neighbor can check on it for you if they're home.
Right.
Okay. So and they had a data breach?
Well, no, the app exposed people's home addresses and their locations. So the security bug affected users who posted on the Neighborhood Watch app, which lets residents report nearby crimes and public safety issues. The Amazon-owned app was retrieving hidden data, including users' home addresses from Ring servers. The information wasn't visible to app users. Ring spokesperson said that they fixed the issue after they became aware of it, and they have not identified any evidence of this information being accessed or used maliciously. With the fix, the application programming interface, or API, only provides now the city, state, and zip codes of posts, as well as approximate latitude and longitude locations.
So Google, the people were worried about Google selling their information or utilizing it for their sales, and Ring's just giving it away.
Yeah.
Interesting stories there, Joe. I don't know. Kind of crazy.
Well, it is Amazon, so they're kind of right there in the same boat with Google. So I would love to say I was shocked, but I'd be lying if I did.
That's about like saying I'm shocked my credit card information got divulged.
Yeah.
It happens about every year. Well, show 45's turned out to be, man, I don't know. Well, I guess the Samsung phone's a good news story. But the other two, ooh, hoogity boogity.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
think it's 2020 all over again.
Yeah. Has 2020 really stopped yet? Where are we at here? Okay.
I think it's just 2020 part 2.
Yeah.
Yep. The sequel.
I think,
The
yeah,
second
I think a lot of
season.
people are feeling that. Gosh.
Although I
Okay.
did see something the other day where people was claiming that Mad Max was staged for 2021.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's just great.
I can see that. All right. Well, 3 good news updates, Joe. As usual, taking care of people, letting them know what's new in the technology world, helping out consumers, letting people be aware of what's going on out there. And if you're like myself, a Samsung user, new Samsung phone, I might just have to have 5 cameras. You just never know.
How is your phone holding up, Dave? How close are we to a update time?
You know, I don't know. I mean, my phone's I'm not super hard on my phone, so I don't do anything crazy. But
Yeah.
why do you ask? Is mine getting chucked out the farm too now? Is that what we're saying? What kind of
Yeah.
plan we hatching here, Justin?
If we're hammering a board or something, your phone might just slip under that hammer or something, maybe.
I see how this is.
Yeah.
You no longer need that phone. I need a new Samsung. Here we go. Let me try it out. Is that where we're going here? I don't know. This is awful suspicious. Joe, you're witnessing it here.
I've got
My phone disappears.
kind of
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Got a kind of embarrassing phone destroying story that you guys might get a kick out of. I was going kayaking down the river one time, and I thought, man, it'd be cool to take some pictures while I'm out there. So I went and got the life-proof case, totally sealed up my phone. I'm good to go. And by the end of the kayaking trip, my phone was destroyed. It's not waterproof, I guess.
The
Even though
life case is it?
It's billed as being waterproof, but I think maybe it popped open at some point, but
Didn't get it filled.
Oh man.
I took some pictures while I was down the river, and then by the end of it, I didn't have a phone though. So
Oh man, yeah.
I thought you
insurance did replace it. I think I said it fell into the water, not that I intentionally went into water with it. Yeah. So they got me a new one.
I
Oh,
thought you
boy.
were going to say that while you was going down the river, it just fell out of your pocket and you lost it. That's where I thought you was going with it. Yeah, it's waterproof, but I lost it somewhere along the way.
Oh, I've had people tell me that too, where it's fell off a boat with the life proof on it, and they went home and were able to see the little pin where it was in the middle of a lake. So
Oh
it's down,
gosh,
still on at the bottom of the lake. Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be rough. Knowing it's there, but you just can't get to it.
A buddy of mine, he bought his dad a brand new iPhone. His dad literally didn't have it 12 hours and he went out fishing and it fell out of his pocket. It was in a life-proof case, but fell out of his pocket, went to the bottom of the lake, waited 2 days before he went back to go. He got scuba gear and went to go look for it. And my buddy goes, "Why are you doing it at this point? It's been 2 days with the ship of water underneath." He said, "You're wasting your time. I'll find it." They never found it.
Yeah.
So he called me. He goes, "What do I do?" I said, "Well, get the new phone, get a life-proof case, and then you're going to get a life-proof buoy for it." So
Yeah, that
So
or tie that sucker to. Give him a piece of string. I mean, come on.
oh no, this life-proof buoy, it's like this thick and it's like twice the size of the phone, and you just set your phone in it. So when you drop it, it literally, it even comes with a lanyard. So if it falls off, it just bobs.
Well, that's what I mean. Just tie it to yourself. You don't have to buy a buoy.
Yeah.
I've done that before. I've had my phone and got one of those little air inflatable cases with the, you kind of zip it shut.
Yeah.
Essentially put it in a sandwich bag, but one made for it's like $10 at Field and Stream or whatever. But I thought about it and I was like, we're going down the Elk River where there's rapids and stuff. It's like it could fall out and I just never see it again because it gets away from me. So I took that and tied it to my boat. So I had about 10 foot of string so I could move with it, get off the boat, whatever, but it was still tied to the boat. So
Nice.
anyway, yeah, I got kids. You got to prepare for that.
Yeah, so Dave tied his phone to the boat, but didn't tie the kids to the boat.
All the kids were going everywhere anyway, so it didn't matter. All right, well, those are our 3 news stories, Joe. What do you got this week? Product review, or I forgot to ask before the show, or is this a tip of the week, or what are we
Tip
saying?
of the week. Tip of the week this week. I'm breaking out the old soapbox again.
Oh,
It's 2021, so at the start of the year, I have to give my New Year's resolutions for 2021, and I have to. It's almost the same old record. I have 3 things that people should, if they're not already doing, definitely should be doing in 2021.
Okay.
So here is Joe's tech resolutions for 2021. First up, 2-factor authentication.
Boy, have I heard that before. I'm not sure. Let me think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you might have heard it a time or two. So for anybody that is new that has no idea what I'm talking about, what 2-factor authentication is it's where you have to have 2 steps to log into your account. So 1 would be a password, and 2, it would be an additional layer, whether it would, more than likely what it is it'll be a security code, whether you use an authentication program like Google Authenticator, or they'll send you a text message or send you an email, something that gives an extra layer of security for only you to access your account. So it's basically something you know and something you have. So the something you know would be your password, and something you have would be your phone or email for it to send you a link or a code to log into your account.
And Joe, you've told me that, and you told me that a lot, and then I finally did it. And it doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would. Like at first I was just kind of like, yeah, it's not that big a deal for me to have that. And then once I realized, man, a lot of people are getting hacked and so forth, it's not that hard to add a passcode. It's just not, or have them send you a passcode or double check. Like I know you helped me link up my phone, my laptop, and my work computer, and they'll always give me a little notification. Hey, your account's being accessed from, a remote location. Is it you? And if it's not, you do this or whatever. So pretty easy to do, really, and it makes a ton of sense. And you've kind of drilled that into my head. So hopefully people listening will, if they haven't, they should.
We just did that the other day, Dave. We're logging into QuickBooks, I think, and it had to text you, and just a simple process of calling you up, or you texted us the code.
Yeah, it was just a text that said, here's the passcode if this is you. It's locked.
Yeah, it came through immediately. It's no big deal. Just got it.
Very easy to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a kind of a toss-up between security versus convenience, and a lot of people don't want to do it because of it being inconvenient, but you guys are a testament that it's, yes, granted it is a minor inconvenience, but it's not like I'm trying to log in today and I got to wait for them to send me a letter in the mail in a couple of days and get it. It's usually within 30 seconds.
Yeah, within seconds, actually. Yeah, so fast. It's nice. So definitely recommend that for me as a non-technology type person.
So Justin, do you have 2-factor authentication turned on your accounts? I'm calling you out.
Oh boy, here we go. It's about to get.
I'm not
real.
sure. And
that's a no. That's a no.
They ask for to put a telephone number in. Basically, is what that would be the step where I would do that.
Yeah, that or use an authenticator app, and the biggies would be like Facebook, Amazon, definitely.
Google?
Yeah, Google. Basically, any account that has any type of information that you don't want to fall into the wrong hands.
I'll do it right now, maybe.
Maybe. All right. What's the second? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, go ahead. No, yeah. The second tip is a password manager.
Ooh.
Yes, another year of me screaming, don't be using the same password for all your websites. All it takes is one of those websites to be compromised with your password and you are done. Because if you use the same password for everything, if your Facebook or Netflix account gets compromised and that same password's for your email, guess what? You just gave me keys to the kingdom. So now all I have to do is go through your emails, see where all the places you go, and start resetting passwords to all those places. And here's where it gets really scary, guys. This past year, I had one end user, their account became compromised, their email account became compromised. And what the hackers did something that I have never seen before. They actually went as far as not only logged into the account, didn't change the password, but set up all new incoming emails to be auto forwarded to their email account.
They
I've
just
never seen it.
unknowingly continue to hack their email, and the other user wouldn't notice.
Yep. So that's what was really scary, was because I sent the end user an email to test it, because they called and said, I'm not getting any emails, but it said, she said, I'm getting a bunch of calls from people saying that I'm sending out spam or virus infected emails. So I was like, oh, timeout, this isn't good. So I logged in and started looking, and noticed I couldn't send, my email hadn't come in, and I dug deeper into her account and found that actually the hackers had set up all new incoming emails to auto forward to their email accounts. So you talk about somebody in a panic, and you guys know me, it takes a lot to make me panic, buddy. I was there.
Yeah, that's scary stuff. Yep.
So use a password manager to help you manage your passwords and make it easier to have each website that you handle have its own password. There's all kinds of them out there. The one I use is LastPass. They actually have a free version, but I use the paid version, and it's not crazy expensive. It's like $2 a month, and it helps generate. You can actually use it to help generate random passwords for your websites, and then it stores it. It uses encryption for you to save your passwords. And I had the app on my phone, and actually has the extension installed on Chrome and Firefox. So it's actually more convenient for me, as when I go to those login screens, it automatically picks it up and automatically puts the information in, my username and my password. So in the long run, it's more convenient for me to just go hit the login screen, log in, just click log in, and it makes it a whole lot easier and a lot more secure.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're the tech guy, Joe. Bringing all this stuff to us knuckleheads that struggle.
So my last soapbox is
number 3.
Backup.
I might have heard this one a time or two as well.
Yeah, just a time or two. So, when it comes to backups, the saying is 3, 2, 1. 3 copies of your data on 2 different media formats, one being off-site. And in the year 2021, there literally should be no excuse of, I don't want to do backups because it's hard, it's inconvenient, it's time consuming, I have to remember. All those excuses are out the window. You can buy an external hard drive anywhere. We even sell them. And the software even comes already pre-installed on the drives, where literally you just install the software and it'll just automatically run in the background. So that's your that's your second copy. The off-site, you can actually do it manually, have 2 hard drives, make 1 copy and send it to somebody in the mail or take it somewhere. Or if you have good internet, you can use an online solution. And we actually have 2 different options for solutions. We actually signed up with a new company within the last week or 2. So we have 2 different online solutions, one being Carbonite, which A&M has been a reseller for several years. And we've signed up with a new company called iDrive, which it ranks right up there with Carbonite. They're actually neck and neck. So you actually have the ability to back up your drives on iDrive as well. So you can go with either solution. And what those do is those run in the background automatically. So there's literally no worry on your end as far as did I back up, did I not? Because it all runs in the background. And you don't have to worry about it.
And I got to say, a plug for Carbonite, Joe. You hook that up for us in our patch offices, and man, super simple. I mean, honestly, I don't even notice it. I don't know anything about it other than you let me know it's doing its job, and you let me know it's full occasionally.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, and we've been using it for, I don't know how long, 5 or 6 years now, probably.
It's been a long time because we started using them. I fell in love with them and said we have to work with them. So we became a reseller for them, and we've been a reseller for them for several years. And like you said, it just runs and it works, and there's no worries.
I mean, it's crazy how literally I don't know anything about it other than I see it working occasionally. It'll say your Carbonite's backing up, maybe, and even then I don't notice it. So, yeah,
well,
great stuff right there.
And it kept me in good graces with Denise the other day. Denise's computer, her hard drive died.
Yeah,
actually, we was in place. She was doing an upgrade anyway. We just schedules hadn't set up for us to put her new desktop in, but her
Yep.
hard drive did die, and she was starting to panic. And I reassured her. I said, Denise, this is why we have Carbonite. If we can't pull anything off the drive, this is why we have Carbonite. This is why you guys pay for that. And luckily, I was able to pull everything off the drive. But if not, we had Carbonite as a backup. So she was able to breathe a little bit and not panic so much when she saw that I wasn't, full on panic. So I was able to keep
Crisis
Denise
averted.
happy. Yes, and I was able to keep Denise happy. So that worked out
That's
well
a
for
great
everybody.
thing. Denise has to be kept happy. That's patch 101. Denise got to be able to do her job, and she's good at it, so that makes it nice. Okay, so 3 New Year's resolutions, and and it's funny, you go over this a couple times a year for just people out there, keeping them safe, helping them manage their technology. That's important stuff. So Justin, are you doing? I know you're not doing 2-factor authentication. So what about the other two?
Yeah, it's set up. I'm set up for two-step verification now. Yep.
Okay,
Perfect.
so you're 1 out of 3.
Yep.
Progress so far. Well, I don't know. So Joe, is his work laptop, is it on Carbonite?
I don't think so at this point, but that's a discussion that the 3 of us will need to have
See
off
if we
air.
need to add it one there. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. So Justin, you're still 1 out of 3. I thought maybe you got slipped into Carbonite there when you got your new work laptop, but apparently not. You're left out in the cold still.
Not yet. But that's a discussion for off air. That
so you might be able to knock 2 out of 3 out here before too long.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Yep.
All right. Well, show 45 in the books, man. Joe, if anybody has any questions about, and in my head, they have a question about a phone, you can go online or you can go to your local phone dealership and kind of take care of that. And Google, Fitbit, not a big deal. Ring, not a big deal. But man, those tips, New Year's resolution tips, those are money. And by that, I mean, those are very important for the average consumer. So if anyone has any questions specifically about those things, how can they get a hold of you?
You can give us a call at our office at 304-927-3588. Check out our website at amdigitaltechnologies.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at AM Digital Tech for all that. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Help Desk with Joe and Dave and Justin. But it's listed as Help Desk with Joe and Dave, and it's on Spotify, iTunes, Apple, anywhere that you can find your great podcast, and it's hosted by Anchor.fm.
Yeah, nice. All right, so that's good stuff. So Joe, as always, A&M Digital Technology powers all our patch stuff, keeps us in a 2-factor authentication, Carbonite backed up, and you don't have me on the password thing yet. I know you told me about it probably a year or so ago, but I'm like Justin, I just but we'll see. Maybe one of these days.
Apparently, I haven't been on my soapbox enough for you for you just to say, okay, quit nagging, I'll do it.
I'm slow. It took you a while to get me on the 2-factor authentication, and then Carbonite was automatic. But I'll get there eventually.
All it takes, Dave, here's what'll happen. All it takes is your Amazon or your Facebook account to get compromised, and buddy, it's an easy sell after that.
Gotta learn the hard way is what you're saying.
Exactly.
You know me well, Joe. You know me well. All right. Well, Justin, you got any final words here on show 45 of Help Desk with Joe and Justin?
No, I think we covered it all. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, that's show 45 in the books. Thanks for joining in. This is Help Desk with Joe and myself and Justin, and everybody have a great week, and we'll be back with more news updates and either a product review or a tip of the week. So always A&M Digital Technologies with Cena behind the scenes doing all the heavy lifting, taking care of regular consumers, our community. And remember, shop small, shop local, help out our local folks here in these times of COVID. And if you need anything technology related or just a person to talk to, feel free to call Joe. Contact Joe. Yeah, how about that, Joe? We'll add a new little deal in there. If you just want to talk to somebody, call Joe.
Yeah. And our answering service would be more than happy to talk to you. It's all automated.
Yeah. And here's Justin's number.
Oh, Justin. Oh, man. I like how you just slipped you under the bus right there.
That might drive me to destroy my phone. That might be it.
Might be the deal. I got you. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you and great job. Show 45 in the books. Help Desk with Joe and Justin. And we'll be back next week for more technology news, tips, and tricks, and everything else. So thanks for joining in our podcast and our live show here.
Thank you very much.